fucking scared right back.
I'm leaving that in. Yo, welcome back to the BrumPunk Podcast. My name is Ethan.
And I'm Meg, and we're here with 1212, or part of it.
Yeah, like 2/4. I don't even know.
2/4.
I'm Jun from 1212, and we got
Aleks, I'm the vocalist from 1212.
Introduction's always so awkward.
I know, it's
Everyone's
so
just like
awkward.
looking at
Yeah.
like when do I
Whose
go?
cue is it to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
like?
Shall we do it again?
Mate, it was even worse on Discord because you couldn't point at people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you got a
literally.
point, yeah.
Yeah, so the boys have got a new album coming out. As of recording, it comes out in 2 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah, 15 days or 14
No,
days.
it's coming out on the 7th of October, so it's going to come out on, we'll do the math.
So it's like 14 days or 13
Yeah,
days.
it's
Yeah.
2
something
weeks.
About 2
that.
weeks.
About 2 weeks, yeah, yeah.
The boys have been very nice in giving us early access to the album, so we're just going to do a bit of talking about it. We're going to talk about all the tracks and ask them what inspired them to write this amazing punk album.
Oh, this is when Alex speaks away because we have no fucking clue.
Okay, well, I mean, like, you came up with the idea.
I came up with no
Yeah.
idea, but like,
You want to do something like fictional, like, sort of, I don't know, like, weird and... I don't know how to explain it. You just said you want to do something titled Mizery.
that was the whole concept of the album.
Because
Like,
you've
we
been
just-
teasing Mizery for like quite a while.
Yeah, Mizery, like, we've been planning to do this since like last year, but like, because of like COVID and stuff, everything's just been delayed, but like,
But we did start writing the songs in, like, 2019.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
end of
obviously
December,
you did
yeah.
White Powder, and White Powder's on there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it wasn't gonna lead up like this, but like, our only excuse was like, because we had a free studio time and we could like record for
Yeah.
free in college,
Yeah,
we were like, alright, we don't have any songs ready, but like, every week we were like,
Come on, we release it.
we were like, come up with a song, and then we would just like, put that into the album, and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
each
yeah.
week we were like, we'll be like, oh yeah, we made this song, come check this shit out, and then
Yeah.
the sound engineer will be like, shout out to Ethan, he'll be like, yeah, this is alright, yeah, we'll get this recorded, then we'll get this done, yeah. And then
So
that's how
was
all
it kind of
started.
like, so obviously a lot of bands, they'll do like 2 EPs or 3 EPs,
Yeah,
then go into an
yeah.
album. You guys decided you wanted to do an album
just
straight
do a
on.
whole album, really,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I don't know, just like I know having EPs is good and that, but like we felt like we could do like if we have more songs ready for you guys, you know what I mean, for everybody. Like it just felt nicer to like show more in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, rather than having like releasing 2 EPs than to have like a whole album going. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like Responsibility
Yeah.
came out, it's just a straight up EP of just like hits,
yeah.
songs that everyone pretty much already knew from you guys from seeing you live.
That's what people think, but like. No, it's just the songs that we all just like. That was everything we had at that point. So we
Yeah.
were like, you know what, like it doesn't really make sense, but we're all just snapping into one EP and like we'll see what it goes like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because with that, like, we had it recorded with, like, 3 different people.
Yeah, and like it
Um,
wasn't mastered all together with like the same
The
person
same,
as well.
yeah.
So every song sounded really like inconsistently different. But like this album
Yeah.
is like kind of proper now, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I said to Ethan last night when I was listening to it again, because I've actually listened to it so many times for this, obviously, but it sounds so professional. Like you can
reckon?
hear,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
think
We
it
say
does.
that as well, but like we got that done in the shitty college studio.
Really?
Yeah. With
You-
like
yeah, you
everything
wouldn't think-
DIY, and then like the last 3 songs that we had to record because like COVID hit us, and like we couldn't record after March.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
from, like,
Yeah.
January to March, we did, like, 5... How many?
No,
there's,
we
like,
did-
there's, like, 8 songs,
No,
really.
we did 3 songs in college, and
Right.
that was Mizery, the
Yeah.
title track, White Powder,
And
Static.
Static.
Oh,
Static.
and One Off.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
4
yeah,
or 5
yeah,
songs.
yeah, yeah. So we did 4 songs, and then the rest we were like, we were planning on doing them, but like Corona hit us and the school shut down. We were kind of shitting ourselves because like, oh yeah, like we're not going to be able to record anything now because like
Yeah.
we don't have the money for it. And then the merch.
The
got us
merch,
in.
yeah.
Yeah. So like,
We talked about this on the last podcast. Danny asked, do you reckon if the cocaine was real?
Yeah.
And Meg was like, that's where the money from the t-shirts went.
nah, that cocaine actually wasn't real. That was
Flour.
Indian flour from.
Indian
It
flour.
wasn't even fucking white.
No, it was
yellow.
It was.
Really?
I think it was. Was it chapati or like?
Yeah, it's like chapati.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yellow,
I
like
know.
corn flour. Yeah.
And it's stuck to my clothes. clothes.
Yeah,
like
people actually
Really?
like.
these shoes.
Yeah, people were getting so serious into the shoot, right? They were actually like trying to sniff it and eat it in their mouth, and it was
Oh,
like
God.
Yeah.
everybody was just like dying afterwards.
Because it was
Yeah.
in a unit dorm as well, like the other people that lived with like Tom and Cara and stuff, they were just like walking in, they were like
What's going on here?
They
Walk
looked
out.
at the state of that kitchen and they just didn't have any words. So like,
Mate, if that was my kitchen, I'd just be like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
done, I'm
it was
moving out.
like 5-6 hours of like shoot, right? It was all done in one day, but it was really funny because like our mates told like all the other flatmates like obviously we were doing a shoot and all this, but
Yeah.
like yeah, it turned out to realise they completely forgot about it. So like this girl came in to like make some tea. She like opened the door and saw the state of it, just closed the door shut again.
But yeah, she just
And
didn't want to get
all
involved.
12, 15 people just standing there, all staring at her, going, "What was she doing?" Yeah.
I think it's such a great music video.
You
Like,
reckon? Yeah,
Props
we
to-
do all our shit just like by ourselves, really. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like this photo shoot that we're having in a few hours is like the only one that we've had with
That's
someone
like-
else.
Yeah.
That's like a proper first photo shoot we had in like a whole band. thing,
Yeah.
like, yeah. Everything
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
done right now is just all done by ourselves, really.
Yeah.
so like, you say it was up till March you were recording,
Mm-hmm.
because we heard, obviously the infamous Flares gig,
Yeah.
and you guys got shut down for 15 minutes or whatever it
Oh
was.
yeah.
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
we all thought you were going to play I Need a Drink, and then you played Static before you went off stage.
Oh
and we
yeah,
didn't know that
was
song
the
at the
song.
time.
Yeah.
So was that like planning for the album? You wanted to hear, people to
we
hear
what
that
we
song?
were planning to do was every gig we were gonna like
We're gonna play a new song.
new
for
song,
each
at least
gig that
one
we're gonna
song, but like we didn't want to make it like
have. Too obvious.
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
obvious, you know what I mean? But like it ended up becoming like a thing for us now. So like we're gonna plan on for the 12 Hour Festival as well. We're gonna plan on doing like our most recent song.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. We're always just constantly making new songs. If you know what I mean, like
So there's new music even after this
even
album.
after
Yeah,
this
yeah,
album
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like,
now is the time. What else
yeah,
can you
like,
do?
once we finish something, we're like, you know what? Yeah, that's done now. We move on to the new stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no like stopping really. We just like we finish something and then we're just like, okay, another one. Let's go.
And if we don't like it, we'll just like keep it in the archive a little bit, and then like if it does get reminded back, we'll be like, oh, you know what? We'll just record it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we should talk about the album a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
'cause, it's definitely like, it's a bit different to what we've heard before, but at the same time it's kind of, I think it's like natural progression of what we
Yeah,
expected
of
from
course.
12.
Yeah.
That's what really happened to us, because like loads of people listen to like Responsibility and like think to like if they listen to this new album, they'll be like, whoa, like we've really changed in a way.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I think it's just like like you said, like natural progression really, like because we got to like know kind of like more knowledge of like how
Yeah.
music works and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
at the start,
Yeah.
like we did. I don't know how we just like because like I never learned drums.
Yeah.
He was like
I couldn't scream for shit.
yeah, like yeah,
I've never,
we've had like times where we were just like, what the fuck was shit.
I remember he wanted to make a band or something, like just a brand new punk band, and like I think I sent him like a video of me singing Sockets for Slaves.
Oh,
And then-
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah, like 2
yeah.
years
And then
ago.
all the whole reason why we started this band was, I was in an indie band called Sundays, right, and that's when I knew
Yeah.
Findy
Yeah.
from TVA.
Yeah.
And like we had one house gig in Solihull, and like that was it basically. And like we've had some shit going on, so we disbanded. But like me and our old guitarist Harry, have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to be in like an old me and him were like in Pirate, just like jamming by ourselves, and we were like, you know what, this is kind of gone shit now. Like,
Yeah.
shall we like make a new band? Didn't really find anyone, and then ended up becoming that was like our like start of college. So we were like what 16, 17.
Yeah,
Back then?
17.
Yeah, and then the only reason we got together was he sat next to me
Yeah.
in a class, and then I was like, you want to be in a band?
Yeah, because like
That's
he came up to me because like he knew I did photography and stuff for like my Instagram, and then he was like, oh man, I want some photos done for Sundays, and then we went there. We took some photos at Pirate, and then after that, like a few days after, that was in December 2018, so a few days after that, he was like, hey man, I want to make a band. And that was 12th December 2018.
Yeah, and then that became 12 and that was it,
Yeah.
literally. And then we started off as a 3-piece.
Oh really?
So it was just
Yeah, we
Harry.
didn't have a bassist,
Yeah.
on our first 2 gigs, and then one of Harry's like mates' cousin was our bassist, Louis, and like
Yeah.
he was at BIM, like doing his bass degree and stuff. So he was like,
No,
"Oh,
it's
just
wrong.
join in," you know.
with me.
Yeah. But yeah, like the first gig was just really dry. I mean, people liked it, but I just remember someone doing the macaroni one also, and it just kind of just awful.
Yeah.
Oh, was that not plugged in?
It wasn't plugged in. Okay, brilliant.
All right.
And we're back. Technical difficulties. So we were talking about you guys were a three-piece, you were starting out,
Yes,
and then
we
Louis
were.
joined the band,
Yeah.
and then, was it Harry went off to university?
Harry had to go off to university like last year in September. No, was it last year?
Yeah, last
yes,
year,
it
yeah.
was. Yeah, it was last year September, and like that's when we had to get a new guitarist as well. And
Yeah.
that was a big fucking fuck fest because like we just had like it was just like we needed guitarists, but like we needed somebody like that could like join us properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
we
like,
needed someone who was like who could be a mate instead of like just being like.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
a-
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just someone who
guitarist.
comes and plays
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah. So like, and then that's all sorted with Holland now, and like that's what we're
Yeah.
like, and now we're like just basically like we became a band really now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've gone through like quite a lot to like to get up to this point, like all together. Like it felt weird to like like the whole punk community and everything.
Yeah.
Like in context to that, because like we were never like. I didn't really know too much. Nobody really knew too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
at the start, and like we had our first 2 gigs in O2 Academy, and like what was it, the Sunflower
No,
Lounge?
it was O2 Academy, the first gig. The second gig, which is in April 2019,
And that was in
with Louis.
Yeah, and so our second gig, we were like, after our first gig, we were like, we need a fucking bassist.
Yeah.
Like, it sounded shit, we need a
Yeah.
bassist.
Harry was a
And
bit against it, I remember.
yeah, he was really against it, because we were like, oh, it's okay to be a 2-piece and blah, 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 all this. Ended up getting a bassist, and that's when we met the Ernest Spears,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
and that was their first gig in
That was
Brum.
the 21st of April.
Miles Newman, that was his like second, third gig. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't recall, but like, and Spit Band.
Yeah.
And we killed our
We
bassist.
killed our
Yeah,
bassist,
and
yeah.
like that's how we all like got together, and like
Yeah.
we became friends all together. And then the third gig or the fourth gig, we ended up getting. Oh yeah, that's when it all reminded me when I went to that TBA gig like 2-3 years ago. Before
Yeah.
that, right, at Wagon and
You wanted
Horses,
to play with them.
and I was like, "Fuck, I want to play with them now."
We talked
like,
about this on the
technically.
first episode. It was like, because obviously the night at the Wagon,
Yeah.
that everyone remembers.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the scene, you remember
Yeah.
that night at the Wagon.
I also need to tell you this as well. Like, I told TBA that because we were doing a co-headline, and I was really gassed with that anyway. But I never wanted Pretty Vile to be in there. Literally, yeah, no. I've told Erin and Kit about this. Like, yeah. At the start, we were like, because we were sorting a lineup out, and TBA was going, "Oh, Pretty Vile's sick," and we were like, not sure. I think we should just put Pet in it because like that's
Yeah.
I knew them before. Like, I didn't
'Cause
know them.
Pet
but
were
I've
just a
heard
bit
them.
before that
They
kind
were
of
already
scene.
like all big, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like it was like meant to be like TBA, Pet, like us, and then like Bad Dreams.
Yeah, how
were
did
gonna
Bad
come.
Dreams come into it?
Bad
'Cause,
Dreams
like,
came in.
It's because of Finn.
Huh?
because of Finn, yeah.
I think that's how it worked, and then like and then that was just a great night anyway in general. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then from then. It literally everything just changed from
Yeah.
there. Like,
Yeah.
because we all got to know each other, and then like that's how it just started
Yeah.
off really. And now we're here, really. Yeah.
Because I remember you had like a conversation in the DMs with TBA, and then the next day I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
and
they
then
followed you.
I know, and then I was like, oh my god, and I told all of these, we would play with TBA, bro, we're playing TBA. Yeah, and then I remember the Future Sounds having a go at us for
Having too many gigs in like 4
and
weeks.
we
Yeah.
didn't know about the 2-week
2 week
The-
rule.
yeah, but like,
yeah.
I think if there was any scene where the 2-week rule doesn't apply, it's the punk scene, because like everyone will go to every gig.
Yeah.
That's another
literally.
thing.
No one's
and
stingy or
what
anything.
happened
Yeah.
was, we were shitting ourselves because we never had like any problems with like promoters or anything. They were going, "Oh my god, like you guys put another gig up," and I thought this was like a big crime for me. Like,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, literally.
yeah,
like,
so we deleted all our posts about like all the promotions.
I
and,
made
like,
a very nice poster about it.
yeah,
so we had
yeah,
to delete
yeah,
that.
yeah, and then we had to keep it a secret, but everybody still ended up pulling through, and then we were like, "Yeah, we
I
just had a
think we
great time with that."
Dip out of a Suki gig. I'm not sure.
Oh, I remember that scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was
There
in like
with
July or
Not
something.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah, we
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
scrap like one of the gigs and cancel it, and then like because we wanted to do that punk gig more than like the different bands and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
Because we had the Sunflower Lounge on the 4th of July, and then
Mm.
6th of July we had the Wagon and Horses.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just two mixed in.
Yeah.
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 Super.
I remember that because I think I was with Tom, who I hope is listening to this,
Mm.
and I think that was the week we went to about 4 gigs in
Yeah,
1 week, and we were
yeah.
all over the Midlands just
Mm.
attending every gig we could.
Yeah.
And it closed out on that. It was that night of the Wagon, and then the week after was Pretty Bell's headline, I want to say.
Yeah, it was.
And then the next morning, I was on the plane to America. So
Were
it was
you?
like,
Oh my god.
that was like the busiest summer I've ever had.
That is rough. That is, yeah. But I remember playing up to the point where, like, remember my like hands will bleed all the time.
You,
Yeah,
and
and
blisters
yeah,
on your
I'll get
knuckles and
blisters
stuff.
and cuts all over my hands, and there would just be blood all over my
And your
snares.
drumsticks.
Yeah. Because I've never learned drums properly, so I just kind of
Yeah.
play, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't play it the right way, but I play it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
you do a
I'm
good
like,
job.
yeah, halfway throughout the job, like, I'm just going, I'm fucking dying. Because I'm like so tired
Take
and
your
like,
shoes off, get
yeah,
comfortable.
I'm like getting my shoes off, getting my tits out, and I'm like, whoa, I'm tired now. Yeah. People know when I'm tired.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't look up anymore at that point.
Oh
I'm just on the floor going, yeah, that is me. Yeah.
That's
So-
probably the first memory I have of you, to be fair.
Yeah.
At Wagon.
Everybody thought I was fucked, but I was just,
Yeah.
I was
that's what
ill
I said
and
to
I was
you.
tired.
And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you got your tattoos before that as well. So your
I
arms were stinging.
remember that. I had my tattoos done, and then I got in there with like still like
Foil.
yeah,
God.
cling film on it. I was like ready to gig.
You just died.
Yeah, still fucked, and I was like, yeah. Mm.
That was an impressive night. The fact it went so well,
Yeah,
despite it was
yeah,
that DIY.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it just like that night reminded me of like, you know, that milk gig
The milk
at Wagon
wagon.
Horses.
The Wagon, yeah.
That's because like it really weirded me out to think like I was like looking back through photos and stuff, and I saw like at that point I was like half of those people are back here now,
Yeah.
but with like different bands and stuff,
Yeah.
and it just felt really weird because like in that like time of like a year or two, everything's changed, but like in a weird way it felt similar.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. Yeah.
It's like generations, like.
yeah.
But it's like how the punk scene's evolving right now to the point where it used to be Milk and TBA and stuff, and now it's coming in with bands like the Offbeats and the Ernest Spears, kind of forming this new scene.
I had a chat about Offbeats in Hensford one time, and they were talking about, because they've been a band for such a long time altogether, but they never like stretched out. If you
They're
get what
just
I mean.
coming into the Birmingham
just do
scene,
gigs.
kind of, yeah.
Because they were always a band and they were always together, but like they've always just played in Burntwood because that's where
Yeah.
they're from.
Yeah.
But I think that it was a good thing that they came down to Birmingham and they kind of joined us all together, because I
Yeah.
think that's how. I think like if we're playing, if we're not a group thing, we wouldn't be thriving as much.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one of those, like, in other scenes, like, people know I do hardcore a lot.
Yeah.
There's kind of like valuable bands.
Yeah.
Whereas I always think in Birmingham, there's like a valuable
Group. Like a
Group.
community,
It's always like
yeah.
it's like it's either, you know, TBA and 1212 or 1212 and Pretty Vile or Ernest Spears and TBA. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's kind of like a I'm not saying if one of those bands played on their own it wouldn't do well, but it's like
No,
it always does
I-
better when they're together.
I think like you can definitely see a difference. I'm being flat out blunt and honest. Like you can 100% see a difference if there's two bands in the Brunk community in a gig than
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people rather come see all of us than seeing one band.
Just one
It,
band.
yeah,
Know
it
what I
kind of
mean?
brings the community, I think.
Yeah, because it's just nicer to like. I think like even for me, if I was like going to a punk gig and I knew all these bands, it's nicer to see all these bands that you
Yeah.
know in a lineup than
Yeah, because
see one
you
band
see
and
everyone.
three indie bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you see everyone, but then if you just go see one band and then like you're not there for the other bands, you're just gonna leave. There's just no point really going, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
Yeah.
like the Piss Kitty gig. Where was that? In Moseley at Castle and Falcon. Only a select few people came, to be fair, because obviously it was just TBA
Yeah.
and Piss Kitty, and then there was another support band.
Yeah.
And although like it was a really good gig,
Yeah.
yeah.
not
It's-
a lot of people were there
it-
because
You can
not
clearly
everyone was
see
playing.
like
Yeah.
you can clearly see like the target audience of like how many of these audience actually likes that one band as well.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
go to a solo gig, if you get what I mean, like
yeah.
yeah.
There's like regulars. for
Because there's a
each
regulars,
band.
there's a
Yeah,
VIP, and
yeah.
like if you go to a group gig, they're all there. You
Then
know what
you
I
just
mean?
gotta
stay there for the
yeah.
whole
And that
thing.
was like, that was kind of, I got the same vibe from like that Wagon gig as
Mm.
the same as I did with Mama Roo's.
Yeah.
Because that was like, I know you guys did, what was it? You played twice there and within like 2 days. 'Cause you played
Yeah,
the
it was,
the
it
Flares
was.
gig and then the
It
Pretty
was,
Vile headline.
but no, it was in 2 weeks interval, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we played the Flares gig, and then 2-3 weeks later we came back to Mama Roo's and played the
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
Vile gig. Yeah.
Because,
This was one in February, wasn't it?
Yeah. Feb
Yeah.
and March. Yeah.
I don't know, I went to a lot of gigs around then.
Mm.
But yeah, that kind of, that Momaru's gig, that was like the whole scene came together that night. I just think it would be interesting for 1212 Fest, because that's like, that was 5 bands when you've got 10 bands who are all in the scene together.
And it's throughout the whole day nearly as well.
And about the festival as well, that was what I kind of aimed for was like, I wanted like the punk scene to be in there all together, but I also wanted like, because we know a few different bands from like, not locally anymore, you know what I mean, from outside, and I wanted to kind of show them like what Birmingham's kind of like with our scene going, and like, that's just how it works. Really.
I mean,
so
if there was any
3 bands coming in, like,
if there was like a criticism about the Birmingham punk scene, it is like, it's just Birmingham. So I feel like we could have more bands coming in and a few bands going out. Like there was
that's what I was trying to do. So we got a band called Earls from Leicester, and they're a 2-piece punk band. They're pretty cool. We got Petrol Boys coming in from Loughborough.
No, I'm pretty sure they're from Peterborough.
Peterborough. We played with them in Leicester. That's how we knew them. Yeah.
I've been speaking to a band called Spherical, I want to say.
Oh, Spherical. I
and
know.
they're saying they want to get a
Spherical,
gig around here. What was the band you guys played with in Leicester?
Barracuda.
Barracuda.
And I really want to play with Tragic. Tragic band as well. Yeah. There's quite a lot of London band that wants to like play with us now as well. Like, and like we can all get together, maybe do like gig swaps and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I feel like everybody gets beneficial stuff. Like, because obviously we only play in Brum, but once we get out to another scene, it's quite nice to see other bands and like introduce like what we're like, and they can introduce what they're like. Yeah.
It's like a different sound, I guess.
It's a whole complete different scene, and like you see strangers there, but like you can actually show them your songs. You know what I mean?
That's how you grow. Taking from different things.
So quite a lot of bands from London's coming down to Birmingham in the next like year or so now. Like like who are the Licorice band? Licorice is coming, and like, I don't know.
Maybe that was the only one.
Maybe that was the only one. I'm not sure.
London's always had a very strong punk scene. I just think in any kind of music like market, it's very difficult to break into London.
That's what Amy was talking about, because they're so competitive there. Yeah. And like, because like the music scene's good there, but like, it's really like, you know how people kind of like, people are nice here to each other. But the bands there,
I guess maybe because it's a smaller city as well.
You feel the tension, because obviously if one person books that gig into that venue, there's going to be another 10 that can't.
Whereas with us,
it's
not to like
different.
Criticize any other scenes, but with us it's very teamwork based.
Yeah, it is
Everyone's
very teamwork,
together,
definitely.
Like, with our the Pod and the Punk party, which we're still trying to reschedule, but that was like, all the bands were just like, for party we'll play it for free, like, and we were like, oh yeah, we'll buy everyone birthday cake and stuff.
I don't think anyone really cares about like making a living out of it. Like, oh my god, we need to pay this gig, we're gonna get £50 or something. Like, everyone just wants to do it for.
We're there for like the memories, really. Like, I'm not planning on like we're not planning on getting like big or anything. We're just here to make memories.
Can I get that on record for like 5 years when you're signed to?
I'm doing this for money. Although the whole merch thing was made up entirely out of like gig money, like £300 or however much.
That merch thing, the only reason why we did it, because we wanted to get that album out, and we had no income coming through, and like,
I was gonna wear my tee.
So was
I. I was gonna say, it was Do Make Saying, wasn't it?
It was from Moseley. No,
Balsall Heath.
So you guys saw in the chat the other night that we had our shirts stolen.
And
it was really nice. They've offered to replace them.
That was really nice of them.
Shout out Do Make Saying,
for the 1212 t-shirts.
I know, and home delivery as well.
So, I guess the next step for you guys would maybe be like a tour, or no?
I wouldn't say a tour, but like, I just want to see how we get through with this album first. We haven't talked that much about the album right now. Go on, have a little chat about the album.
Well, again,
talk about like the story of it, like.
Well, you came up with the idea of saying you want to have Mizery, you want to have this character Mizery.
So it's a concept record.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like it's a concept.
Exactly. That's what it says on SoundCloud.
But everything, because like when I first heard of it, like this concept, I tried to make a few songs. It didn't really work out. I was like pushing like the lyrics. It wasn't
because at the end of the day, it's only on him that tells the story. We do the instruments, but it's up to him all the time making the lyrics and everything. But
like, it's just I don't know. Like, I think the first song that I wrote for Mizery was White Powder. Because I'm pretty sure Harry came up with the riff for White Powder.
Yeah,
when
so
he came down for
we need
Christmas.
some credit for Harry because, like, even though he's not in the band, he still sometimes comes in and makes contributions to us. And, like, he'll give us an idea and he'll be like, oh, guys, you know what? I made this, like, quite nice riff. Do you want to check it out? And then we'll, like, go on from there and just develop it really, like, and see what happens,
Yeah, like, I think all of us made, like, Harry made some riffs. Holland made some riffs.
Yeah.
I made a few riffs.
Yeah.
So it's all just like a...
It all just kind of comes in together. And Luby as well, like, with the bass riffs and stuff.
Yeah. So there was, like... So it's meant to be based on a character.
Yeah, an entity, And, like, we talk about, like, obviously, like... Go on, carry on from there.
Well, I guess, like, Mizery's meant to be, like, that one dark side of everyone that everyone hates to bring out. Like, because, you know, in White Powder, it's all about, like... taking cocaine.
Yeah, people think it's like people think it's
like
take cocaine, but it's quite like
it's meant to be
anti-coke song. And like
because it sounds like a bit of like a party song with the whole like having fun, and then you listen to the verses. It's like
it's really
waking up in hospital and
That's
stuff.
what I wanted. Like but like our songs itself is quite dark in a way, but like in a way like it makes it. We kind of play like this is kind of our style we're talking about, but like. He has very dark lyrics, but like
literally the only thing I can write is just dark.
Dark, depressing stuff, but like in a contrast to our instrumental, and it's really weird. It's a really weird mix, if you get what I mean.
Like, it kind of like It reminds me of kind of like the like Idol stuff, where it's all like very dark, angry lyrics.
Taboo information, like things that people are kind of still scared to talk about.
I mean, we're not really aiming to go on the radio or anything, but like it's just how it is. For people to listen to,
and like,
Spotify,
and like, I was also thinking like because like most of our like album or EP, well, we only have 2 now, like including this album now, but like we kind of see the clear point of like like our theme kind of goes with like human emotions more than anything else because
teenage angst.
Like we like for responsibility. It's like even like every album, like if you listen to the lyrics properly, like everything goes with some form of emotion or like personality. Nothing else
it's
really.
It's almost like every song is a different like experience,
different kind of character.
Like
it's kind of like a point of view of like what lifestyle. But even though we never really like.
Yeah, we haven't gone through it, which is good for this concept.
Nobody's gone through it because, like people, like some people could listen to this shit and be like, "Whoa, like these guys must be fucked up," but like we're really not. We're just a bunch of college kids making some music. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Uni kids
now. Huh? Uni kids now. Yeah.
So, like, would you guys be interested in another concept record after this, or would you?
We were already talking about this. Like,
I mean, we might take a break from making a concept album. We make just like. The old responsibility type of shit and then go back into this.
But like that's the thing, like we had this kind of like stuck moment because like obviously like you know when you make a first EP and like you think it sounds great and stuff, but once you make a next stuff and kind of like evolve in a way because you have like experience and stuff now, right? But like it made me think like how are we gonna get back into making our old music because we've already moved in this much. Like, you know, when you think about, like, you know, when you're, like, in school and you're constantly learning. And then you're trying to dumb yourself down a little bit more. That's what it feels like, you know? Like,
how to get back into that mindset.
Yeah, like, we want to make better music, but, like...
Roots.
Like, I really want to see, like, how, like, our friends and, like, family think, like, how are we gonna, like... No, like, I'm not sure if they like our old stuff or new stuff, and that's how we're checking out. Like, this is why we're getting experimental now, like with our new stuff as well.
So, would you say responsibility was more experience-based than?
No, responsibility came out from like scrap. If you know what I mean, because like we had zero like music knowledge. We never had a gig. All we did was we were like this is how we make music, right? We get a guitar riff. And then we play that on repeat. I'll play something with beat, and then Lou will be like, "Oh, let me get a bass line," because he's like the most knowledgeable guy. Like
he knows music.
Out of everybody, like he knows how to play. So he'll be like, "Okay, do this," and Holland will be like, "I don't know the key, or I don't know whatever like I could play with." So Lou will teach him everything, and then we end up like coming in an instrumental, structure it out very simply, like what.
And then just intro, give me the layout for
intro, chorus, verse 2, bridge, chorus. And then we'll be like, oh, you know what, song done? And like
2 minutes 30 on the dot.
We made songs where like Like, let's say, for example, like, I Need a Drink was done in, like, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Less than that.
I think that was... No, wait. Trips was actually the first song we ever wrote. And
Yeah,
that was
Trips
on the
was.
first practice that we've had on the 12th of December.
Yeah.
And we got that done in, like, about an hour. Like, just bang it out.
Yeah, just like, it was, like, done in an hour, right? But, like, you know when you, like, first play a song and you think it sounds really good and stuff?
Yeah.
But there have been, like, variations that's gone through, and we never, ever play the same song. Like, let's say, for example, like, we make this song in a production.
We don't play it the same way.
In the live, we'll never play it the same.
Yeah.
It's usually faster. Like,
it's faster, and like,
faster.
you have this thing where, like, Alex has this thing where, like, he will remember all the verses, but he will forget some choruses, right? Which is like the most, which is meant to be like the catchiest part of the song.
Yeah.
And like, he'll just change the words up, and the next thing you know, we'll be like, you know what? That's our song now.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah,
Trips, because for Trips, the chorus is like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
So I just changed up like a few words for each time I say that, and that just like stuck with it. So
It's just like, because like, we'll just get confused with the song because we write it so quick and never really like care about it after, and then we'll be like, every time it changes, we just improvise really. Yeah.
That's sick. Would you guys want to call it a break now?
Yeah, let's call it
Yeah,
a break.
sure.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Well, it'll be now for you guys. We'll be back
Half
in about
time,
5
back
minutes,
half time.
and we'll be talking about the songs on the album.
Wait, what is that?
It's your asshole.
Is that the new 1212 music video?
That's your asshole, bro.
It is!
Oh,
Yeah, they're kind of cute, can't lie. That's kind of hot, right?
Alright, we got this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
We ready?
We ready?
I'm ready for the 57th day of the drive of the day. Let's fuck up again.
Press play.
Let's fuck up again.
Fucking ready!
Oh, you fucked it now.
Fucked it already.
And we're back. There might have been a music video there. We haven't decided yet. So we're going to talk about...
Did you enjoy the music video?
Did you enjoy it?
Give us a like on YouTube.
We're going to talk about the new album now.
Mm-hmm.
So my phone's down there. Oh, the joys of a studio.
So much better, and it's just
Yeah.
not awkward.
So it's 9 tracks.
Yes.
And you say it's concept record about this character of Mizery.
Yeah.
So the first song is the title track. There's no lyrics on it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
Yeah.
There's a little chant at
There's
the
a
end.
yeah. I did like that one a lot. I think it kind of sets the mood for the album.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to like do like
Be
a little,
energetic.
do an intro and like give them like a little taste of like what the whole album is gonna be about.
We low-key based that on Colossus by Idols.
Yeah,
'cause it's just,
Colossus
so
and like
constant.
yeah.
I can hear a lot of Idol's influence on it.
There is, yeah.
Do you think the album needs to be listened to in order to understand it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Each
like,
song has like a special personality, I guess.
Yeah.
And it just works better if you just because especially for coming after you as well, like that's just meant to go together.
Yeah. They're all kind of connected in a way, and like it shows you like the level of moods that person's going through, and like at the end of the song for.
And I'm pretty sure if you go from Mizery to White Powder, there's like static noise in between them.
Yeah. And for the last song, Just Trying to Get Home.
We wanted to go quiet, like
at the end, you can hear the outro when like that's when it's all dying down. You know what I mean?
And especially the chorus as well. Fuck off, I'm trying to get home. It's like you reach that point now, like that's it.
You're basically home and you're in your bed now. And you're like, oh, get to bed.
That's
on.
it.
So
it's a bit of backwards guitar.
Yeah.
So from Misery it goes into White Powder, which is obviously the single.
Yeah.
You said that song's very anti-drug,
Anti-drug.
despite how it sounds.
Yeah.
Very anti-drug. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously people hear. I've spoken to this about Alex before. Like people hear "I Need a Drink" and it sounds like some homeless kids written this drinking tune.
Yeah.
So it's like
it could be taken as if you want like a soft beverage as well. Like
we
you
really
just have a Coke or like a Pepsi.
We really started off with like anything drug related, like altogether, but like most of it, like we're not even like the songs itself don't kind of promote it, but it shows in a way like you can do it and you can enjoy yourself with it. But
there's
like
consequences.
There are consequences afterwards, Yeah.
And then there was Static, which we heard obviously at Mama Roo's.
Yeah.
That one's sick. It's kind of got this like the vocals have got like an effect on it to make it sound like it's talking through on TV or something.
Yeah, and it's more like a talking kind of way, like not like a
I don't know if you listen to Daughters, like the band. Like it's like a noise rock, and it's just really like fucked sounding, and like there's no actual structure to the lyrics or anything. It's just kind of like spoken words. So
They're more spoken words. It kind of tells a story afterwards, and like we wanted to link White Powder with White Noise in a way, like
White Powder and White Noise. White powder and white. Oh, you mean the effect, not the actual music,
not the music itself. Like in a way of like White Noise could mean like how it like really relates to static in a way, and like
it basically is static anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is, and like you just like think about like all the consequences you get from like doing cocaine or doing all this drug abuse kind of stuff, and like coming afterwards, like what the outcome could be like, and that how it leads up to static, so the song kind of does connect in a way. And that's like our first set of like story that we tell. So coming up from Mizery to the intro, and like from coming to White Powder to static, it like groups into one.
So it's like, so the album could be taken as like the story of kind of like a come down or something.
Yeah, in a way.
It's like the beginning is like when you're actually on the drugs, whatever, like you're high, and then the other half of it is just coming down into it slowly.
Yeah, and like there are ways of like, so like we like kind of show it in songs where like we tell a story of how that person is, that entity's feeling, and like that person, and we are kind of the people that's like describing what that person is doing. In a way. It's
that dark side of you. As I said before.
And then there's Coming,
right. Coming was meant to be just an interlude, right? But like it completely changed in production because like we just wanted to make it sound even more fucked up. And then like that's coming up to a point where okay, you're coming down on static, and then you get the little calm of the interlude, and then it's getting back up to the point where when you're playing After You, right? That's when you're like
into the paranoia as well,
kind of getting back up to it, and like you're like, oh, what's gonna happen to me now?
After You is like one of my favorites on the album. It's got this like. It's kind of got like cool like indie riff. It's kind of
it's really different. It's really different to like, so like we really wanted like a lot of different kind of styles into this album, but like in a way where we still wanted to like match the concept and the theme of it with different sounds.
We just wanted to experiment with like, we didn't want each song to sound the same as the last one, so that's just kind of like going from like a indie-ish sort of sounding riff to just like rock, punk, whatever.
So you kind of set this concept and you just wanted to make music around that.
So we just always start off with one emotion theme, You know, we just build it up from there, and whatever we can find, it's like a little brainstorm for us, like, and like we like find little different points, right? And we're like, oh, actually, we could use this and make it into story. Yeah. So a lot of it's all fictional, like nothing's really happened, or we never had any influence of other people doing it, but it's kind of cool in a way people can relate to it. Yeah.
And then after that is obviously the new single, ADHD. I think that's probably the heaviest song.
I reckon it's one of the heaviest, but that song was kind of like,
you were like, oh my god, I want to make a Turnstile sounding song.
Yeah, like it was really Turnstile influence.
Every punk band nowadays needs to have Turnstile influence.
Yeah, that song was, because like we are kind of like getting into that borderline of hardcore.
Yeah, so it's like,
do you get what I mean?
You guys, because obviously you guys are like,
there are times where you can kind of two-step into a song. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Because I think a lot of the bands in the punk scene have influence from the hardcore scene. Because like Birmingham hardcore has been around for
they've been around for so long. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's like once Birmingham hardcore comes into it, and obviously there's stuff like Bad Dreams playing with you guys, Pretty Vile playing Hardcore Fest. It's like there's kind of a crossover.
There is a crossover to it. Yeah.
At one point we were going to do like we were doing like a punk versus hardcore night. But it didn't happen because of COVID. But yeah, I feel like the whole, even though you guys have got like the indie noise rock sound, there is still influence from like heavy punk and hardcore.
I feel like we're just always just like getting educated from different bands, really, like, because we don't want to like just stick to one thing. We've always just wanted to stretch out. Like everybody in our band wanted to do different things all at the same time, so we're kind of taking that into consideration, and we're always trying to find that new stuff. Like, because like Holland, he's like Arctic Monkeys and all of these like indie person. You're like noise rock grunge.
Noise rock grunge, 90s, whatever.
90s,
like anything.
And Louis, you know how he plays with Hit the Floor? He likes jazz, like lo-fi indie kind of stuff. And like for me, I'm like, oh, I love hardcore metal.
Yeah, like hardcore and a bit of indie, like at first.
Yeah, I like a bit of indie because like that's how I started off. But like the more I got into like punk and like all this stuff, because like still I don't know a lot of like, because I still need to like stretch out like my knowledge more about these like culture and songs and stuff, but like I don't really know too much. But you can like, looking through the album, you can kind of like see it slowly graduating up, if you get what I mean. Because you like, everybody finds out new stuff as like the longer they play and like the more you do, you know.
And I think it just fits in for a lot of people because you've got One Off, which is so fucking soft. It's just
completely
and
but it's actually, I think it's probably my favourite one on the album.
You reckon? That's why it's called One Off as well. We just called it One Off because
it's a one-off like, soft song.
You know what? We're just gonna make it. This is a one-off song. We don't give a fuck. We've always wanted to make some form of indie music. Just put it in there.
My mum loves that song, to be
honest.
Really?
One Off was like, it gave me like the vibes of like, I don't know, it might be different for everyone. It kind of reminded me like 2000s like radio rock.
Really?
With the old like acoustic guitar and stuff like that.
Moo and like Erin and those people, they thought it was like really influential by modern baseball. Like, kind of like slow.
I could hear like the kind of the new wave emo stuff. Like
like really kind of emo, kind of depressing and sad, but like really soft as well.
Emo music next.
No. And like ADHD was actually like, personally for me, it's like quite influenced. Like my girlfriend made a joke about it, was like, oh, you should like name a song after ADHD because like that's what like some people have.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the title, because what is it? Always
Doubt, Hunting Down.
What does that mean?
So we were gonna call it ADHD,
and we were gonna get someone who has ADHD and tell us like how they feel and like how they go about their daily lives.
But we got too lazy and we just scrapped it basically.
Got too lazy, but I also thought it would be quite insensitive if we don't have that. I know it's a concept album, but if we don't have ADHD, we wouldn't truly understand.
I didn't want people to misunderstand that we were like kind of using it against it, if you get what I mean. And like we wanted to like, even like the song is about ADHD, but like we didn't want to give that true meaning into it, because it could mean other things for other people as well. Like, because like mental disability is not something you should like really like talk like, not you can't talk about it, but you shouldn't be really messing with it, you know what I mean. But
I think the album does highlight stuff like that, and it's important to really show it in the music.
It is like good to have like knowledge and stuff, but like we don't really want to portray it like 100% into that kind of like context, if you get what I mean. Because
all like the lyrics as well, like the closer I got to finishing like the actual lyrics, like, because sometimes like if like lately anyway, if I had to like write lyrics for songs, I kind of just put any two lines together. They don't have to make sense, but then afterwards when I read them back, they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. So that's why like it just sounds more about someone being paranoid about going out and meeting people and stuff. Like
Alex has like a more of like a visionary of like, I think you vision your story first more than your lyrics. So
yeah,
like,
so I know
like
what I've got to write about, but I don't know how to get around
it. That's the thing.
It's like, I don't know, some people probably see it as cheesy, but like my favorite album is American Idiot, which is obviously a very story-driven album, and it's got a musical and everything. So like, concept records have always been really like interesting to me. So it doesn't have to be a complex story. It doesn't have to be something like massive. Something as simple as a come down. If you can describe that through a story, it makes it a lot more interesting.
Yeah,
than just
that's
a straight up
we
punk
were
album.
Yeah, because like, I wanted people to see like even beyond the story, if you get what I mean. Cause, like, they can relate in their ways, and like everybody's different. That's what we want to make it with. Like,
and then towards the album, there's kind of like the characters. It's almost like woken up, and it's like changed. And then obviously Erin comes into the album.
In, like, so that's where it starts off. Like, so after One Off, it is
Skit.
Skit is just like. Just a filler thing. Like, I just want to kind of give people breaks with too much noise and all this. Like,
and then you got the last song, don't you?
Yeah, and then we got the last song, just trying to get home.
Which
that's literally what it means.
That feels quite
get home now.
Similar to Responsibility. It's kind of more about being a teenager in Birmingham than it is following the character, and then it's
like everything's about paranoia and everything's in your head. But like it does tell you because like when it comes out playing through the outro, it tells you like the start till the end. If you get what I mean, like that could like go across through someone's daily lives in a way. Like they could be out there seshing or doing all this stuff, but at the end when you're all alone and going home, they could be going through a hell of a time. You know?
And then the end of that song, obviously it slows down. I thought that was kind of like. Gives it kind of like a circular motion. And if you listen to the end of that and then go back to Mizery, it's kind of like starts again.
In a way, it repeats. And I think like the album kind of has like a life cycle in a way. Like you start from Mizery to end it off with that outro, and like
you can restart it.
That could always just come back through.
I just think it's. Obviously, I'm only learning more about it now. You guys talking about it, but
like once the album comes out, like we can all have a nice listen.
I feel like I'm on Genius though.
Because like to be honest, like
you should do like a listen party or something on Spotify.
I reckon we could. And
you have
like
to get a good time though. As well.
I've already shown we've already like shown it to quite a lot of people because like I like to
get feedback
from quite a lot. So like TBA's already heard it.
My mum's already heard it.
Your mum's already heard it. Pretty Vile's already heard it. Meal Deal as well. They've already heard it. But like,
I think people, if they watch this podcast and then they listen to it, they might have a bet. Because when I was listening to it, I had no idea if there was any kind of story to it or anything. I just thought it's just like a punk album.
Briefly from the description.
Kind of,
But that's the thing. The more you talk about it with the band, like you get to see like a more of a clear insight to it.
And it makes it a lot more interesting knowing about the story and the character and all that.
So like, if people's listening to this podcast, they will know everything now. Literally. We haven't talked about this like so deeply. Then not with anyone really. So like people kind of know at the surface of it, but if they listen to this, they will actually know everything about it now.
I hope everyone listens to it.
Everyone better listen to it.
So I don't know when this is going to come out, but it'll be pretty close to the album coming out before. So hopefully this give people more of an insight into what the album means.
We're planning to have like a listen time, like we can like all have like a listen party, but like I was gonna like get people to like have a listen before it even comes out, so I was gonna premiere like we've been playing it on like Instagram Live as well, just like by ourselves.
We did a few lives.
Well, we kind of get bored.
The quality is
like,
shit though, but
you know what I mean. And like, it's just like it really does annoy me because we have release dates and stuff, but I just want to release it now and just show it to everybody. You know what I mean?
Hype it up, like, as well.
Like we just because like, it's been such a long time like that we've been worked on it. Like it doesn't feel like it's been a long time, but it has been such a long time.
And we've managed to like work through the whole coronavirus stuff as well. Like we had that break of recording the first songs, and then like as soon as like there was a sign that we could go out, like we just went record commentary 2 days.
Once we came back right all together, it felt so different like from like last year because like I feel like in a border of like the first 4 songs that we've done in college, and then the last. Yeah, the other 5 that we've done in Coventry, right?
Yeah.
Like, we just recorded that in a venue. It was like a live take.
Yeah, you guys did a live...
Yeah, it was like a live take, but, like, we recorded that. Shout out to Ethan again. But, like, he pulled it through, basically. He came to mine and mixed it in my bedroom while I was lying on the sofa. Like, but I just wanted, like, people to, like, clearly see it, really, like, in a way. Yeah. Because I think it makes it more interesting, like, to, like... see the story. Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah,
it's good. I guess closing off, have you guys got any plans for after the album release? Or
after the album release?
After the album
we're meant
cycle?
to have the festival. Hopefully that still goes on ahead.
Yeah, I'm also going to talk about that festival because like people think it might pull through in the 19th of December, right? But
Birmingham's probably not.
I don't think it will because like looking at today's time, like right now, like all this second lockdown might be incoming and all this. I've said to a lot of people like gigs are going to change really drastically in the future. Like you never know, we might not have a standing gig in the next 2 years. Everything could be seated, like, and like it's going to affect like bands a lot, but it's just what it is really. Like we can't help it. And we do have a second date planning, which we haven't announced, but we'll tell it here. Like, it's on 10th of April, 2021, and like all the tickets still remain valid, so like you don't have to get refunds or anything like that.
If you do want to get refunds, though, it's no
problem.
you
can if you want to, but like if people are going away that day, like all the tickets are protected, so you can actually just get a refund. Like they're not, we're not bullshitting you really. Like
like I don't want people to like think of this time in like a few months and then like hype it up and like get excited, but then obviously
I just think we're not planning to cancel this because we planned it for such a long time and like we don't want to like just miss out, you know what I mean? Like just have a nice time all together.
So do you think at the 12/12 Fest you could probably do another headline even bigger than that?
We just want to see how it goes because our biggest breakthrough was like the Flares gig, but even though it did shut down for us really, like
both of the Mama Roof's gigs shut down.
But like we just I don't know, like we're not really here to like get big or anything like that. We're just here to have a nice time, get some bevies in, you know what I mean? Just like chill with your mates, have a nice night, and talk about it 6 months later and be like how stupid we were back then. You know what I mean? That's all I want really. Like
Everyone's growing up, innit?
Yeah, we'll all grow up and like you'll clearly see like next year like there will be different sets of people coming in. And like every year it's just gonna change, you know.
The scene's never gonna be the same. The scene's gonna get bigger, but it's still gonna change out. I think
it's always gonna change, and like we're always so welcoming, and like it doesn't matter who you are really. Like we can all join in. You never know. I could be friends with like bloody like I don't know people from next year, and we'll all be like, oh, punk forever, you know. Like you just never know. Like and at the end of the day, we're all just human. You know what I mean? Like we're not. Like I don't class myself as like a band or an artist or whatever. I'm just a guy that sits there and play drums, bro. Like you know, And as soon as I come down on stage, I'm just the same as you know. Like I'm gonna go home tonight.
Like it feels cool having like reminiscing about gigs and shit. It feels cool to have people be like, oh my god, you did so sick, and I'm just like, thanks, man.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like you know, like it's just a gig. Anybody can do it. Anybody can make a band. Like you know, like. This is what I wanted to tell loads of people. Like, if they enjoy it and if they have the passion for it, everybody can do it.
You literally don't have to be musically talented.
And you don't have to be musically talented because, like, if you're in a group, right, you can like do so much to it. Like, it's just all about teamwork and just being friends. You just learn together.
Because like a lot of people worry they don't want to join a band in case they're really bad or like no one likes it.
Don't
if your friends support you, it shouldn't matter how good or bad you are. And if you're enjoying yourself on stage, that's all that matters.
If you have friends that like does music and stuff, like you can just like go for it really. Like like if you need help, just go ask them about how you can do it and stuff. Like and that's how we all did it. Like you know what I mean? I didn't think I was gonna be a drummer. You know what I mean?
I scream.
I didn't think you were gonna be a singer. Like it just all started off.
Not even a good one yet.
Just how it is.
It's good to know. I guess we can wrap it up there.
We'll wrap it up here now.
That was great. I really enjoyed that podcast. Thank you for listening to the BrumPunk Podcast. My name is Ethan.
I'm Meg. Thanks to these guys as well.
Jun drummer.
Listen to the album.
Aleks singer. 12/12, 7th of August. No, October. It's not out yet. It's gonna be out on all platforms and
including TikTok.
Oh no, that's awful. But like Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. See you later, guys.
See ya. Bye bye.